Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of the KOR universe. We are starting another video on this time around to be more um, relevant. We will be talking about the not the history, not the election, but both history of an election in the Knights of Rizal that was really moving time, trying time for the Knights of Rizal. The Schism, years of organization stress and challenge in the Knights of Rizal, brought about by an election that happened more than 15 years, 16 years ago. As a Knight of Rizal, you know that there is going to be an election that was affected severely by the pandemic of COVID 19. Uh, the present disposition in the Supreme Council was supposed to end in uh, 2020, 2020, from 2018, 2019 to 2020. But the happenings in the world prevented that election from transpiring. So, this coming September 19, we will have an election. In July 16, after a meeting, the present Knights of Rizal disposition, headed by Sir Elihu Ibanez, came out with a memorandum. It's Memorandum 46 uh, for series of 2018 to 2021. It was dated July 16, and it opened up the possibility of an election on the September 19 for the next Rizalian year in the Supreme Council. They came up with reminders for submission of qualified voters was on deadline was July 15. After 4 days, they would should have posted a qualified list of voters, and the payment, as you know, there's going to be a payment this time around. Um, Information of which is available at the headquarters, and also we will be doing a special on the election. The Musings of the Knights of Rizal will be doing a special on the elections, and September 19 would be the elections. They also came out with a supplemental rules and regulations governing the conduct of the election for Rizalian year 2021 to 2023. Again, this will be part of the Musings of the Knights of Rizal review. Make it simple, uh, chop it down to details. Hopefully, we'll have some guests who will help us, if not from the election tribunal representatives, maybe from legal minds or ordinary members of the Knights of Rizal. So the period of 2002 and 2005 was marked with division and strife. Both were claiming on election of 2001, April 21, of having victory. And that is exactly 20 years ago. The two sets of officers were claiming legitimacy during the holding offices in two different locations, one at the international headquarters and the other is the Palace of the Leyte in Manila. And things got worse when another faction declared its intention to bolt in 2013. Before all this happened, and the Rizalian year 20,000, 20,001, Sir Helio Cambao was the supreme commander. Noteworthy names with regards to this presentation would be, of course, Sir Rogelio Cambao, Vicente Palmon, Deputy Supreme Commander, who will be the Supreme Commander uh, during the Schism. Sir Carmelo Gampisao, Sir Jesus David, and Sir Virgilio Esquerra. During that time, with this schism, the and Riley was affected. Uh, there were two Enrileys in 3 weeks that was held in the same hall at the teachers' camp in Baguio, and this was in 2003. This is a sample of the circular that came out from the DILG at that time. Also, at the tail end of this schism, both the regional councils of Europe, Canada, to name a few, got involved with the schism. Both of them wanting a unifying election in 2005. Now, the start of all this happened with Sir Vicente Palmon, who was the supreme commander at that time. The Scarborough Manifesto is going to be used as a basis for the series of events that happened during this 3 year period. Sometime in 2002, Sir Vicente Palmon was charged criminally, and this was not involving the order. The Council of Elders in October of 2002 asked Sir Palmon to take a leave of absence on February 21. Sir Palmon did not take a leave of absence, although he did sign this action um, previously. So the next 2 days, the Council of Elders, headed by now Sir Justo Torres, decreed and declared Deputy Supreme Commander Sir Gempesao as acting Supreme Commander. On Philippine Star newspaper, on the second paragraph there, in a statement, the Knights of Rizal said Palmon failed to fulfill his promise to step down last October in line with the Council of Elders arbitral order, which was signed by all members of the Council of Elders, the Supreme Council, and Palmon himself. The order was a result of the conciliatory meeting conducted by the elders among all members of the council who had conflicting views on the resolution on the leadership issue. Also, this all emanated from complaints from the Knights of Rizal in US, Canada, and Metro Manila asking Palmon to step down starting July of 2002. The next month, Sir Palmon called the National Assembly, acting as Supreme Commander in Nueva Ecija, and Sir Jesus David was elected Supreme Commander. The next month, April, the Supreme Council declared the the National Assembly null and void, and did not recognize the election of Sir Jesus David. On May, the acting Supreme Commander Sir Gempesao, as far as the Council of Elders were concerned, called a National Assembly in Pasig, and he was elected Supreme Commander. So all these issues between 2003 and 2005 saw the advent of criminal cases filed by both groups against each other in an attempt to legitimize their election. However, the courts were really not that clear, and they saw a seesaw in favor of one after another against each other. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Sir David occupied the international headquarters, and Sir Gempesao was at the Palace of Leyte in Manila. Deeply concerned with this, the members looked for someone who could make the leaders of these three groups. Sir Virgilio Esguerra wanting to bolt in 2003 to sit down, but all of these efforts failed. First is Sir uh, Gempisao, Boy Gempisao, uh, was a hardworking person and very involved with the Knights of Rizal, but also caused him to be hospitalized during this time. But even in his old age, he was still involved with the Knights of Rizal. Now, on the other hand, Sir Jesus David, who was uh, a very principled man, according to uh, Dr. Rosales, but also is very amiable and very easy to get along with, according to her. Now, Sir Virgilio Esguerra, who was also part of the schism, uh, according to Dr. Rosales, was a very humble man and very um, hardworking as well, and really cared for the Knights of Rizal like the other two. In 4 meetings in 4 months in 2005, there was a summit of these leaders. Fortunately, we worked this time. Their love for the Knights of Rizal took center stage from individual interests and leadership challenges. Thus, in May 27, 2005, Declaration of Peace and Unity was signed. All parties agreed, and they agreed to have a General Assembly in June, the next month, in Pasig, and it also paved the way for the dropping of cases filed in court. At the same time, in May 27, 2005, Sir Palmon was arrested. In the third paragraph there, the retiree complainants against ex-colonel Vicente Palmon and company are very happy and thankful about his arrest last May 27, 2005, exactly the same time that this accord was signed by the leaders of the Knights of Rizal to unify on an election in Pasig in June 2005. Um, the He was arrested with operatives of the Western Police District. He was actually arrested in Aloha Hotel in Malate, Manila. Aside from the case of estafa that caused his arrest, there were other cases against him, including cases that was filed by 23 Manila police retirees on different counts of estafa against Palmon. 20 more arrests would happen with no bail recommended against Palmon and his cohorts, and it's just a sad note that the former Supreme Commander, outside his role as Supreme Commander, was involved in something criminal as this and caused the schism in the Knights of Rizal. On June 2, three uh, factions signed MKOR, and this accord appointed Sir Lamberto Nanquil, who was the chairman of the elders at this time, to be the overall chairman. During the election at that time, the nominees were limited to only those factions, and no other nominations will be entertained. It limited the delegates to only those who belong to the factions. The General Assembly was held, and in accordance with the Memorandum of Agreement, a new set of officers was elected. So, again, the June 26 delegates approved and validated the summit declaration, uh, giving it the backing of the whole uh, Knights of Rizal delegation at that time, and elected a new set of officers headed by compromise leader, but very well deserving as well, ex-Senator Sir Jose D. Lina Jr. The next month, he pledged that he will be amending the bylaws that will be finalized on September 15. And on January 7, 2006, it was approved. Luckily, while all this was happening, at the end of 2005, the order had more than 200 chapters in the Philippines and over a dozen still uh, in foreign countries. Although this shook the core of the Knights of Rizal, the uh, rank and file members continued and persisted in the growth of the Knights of Rizal in their own local chapters. So this time around in 2021, 20 years after all this happening, and 16 years after ex-Senator Jose Lina Jr. became the Supreme Commander, we have a new election. 2001 election was rife with poor leadership, controversial leadership. The members of the Supreme Council was also at a loss on how to go about this leadership that affected not only the organization from the inside, but also the perception of the community to the Knights of Rizal. So we would like to say kudos to the Election Tribunal Chairman, Sir Tirso Velasco. Learning from the election of 20 years ago, it is vital that we understand not to take this election lightly and to be responsible in our choice of leaders so that something like that caused the schism in the organization would be a distant history and will not be again a part of the Knights of Rizal. So thank you so much for listening, and watch out for our special on the election. Thank you, and Nanom Nis Moriar.